Hi, my name is Allison Rasmussen, and I am an ISCA member and instructional coach at Waverly Shell Rock Community Schools in Waverly, Iowa, up in Northeast Iowa. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about helping manage the stress and anxiety of this period of change, as well as a little bit of self-care to make sure that we are being the very best versions of ourselves we can be so that we're able to maintain and take care of the people around us. It's important to remember that we are all going through this crazy time together, and that through this period of change, we're going to feel all sorts of different things. We might go through a period of denial, confusion, frustration, but it's really important to acknowledge and talk about those feelings. One of my favorite sayings when it comes to mental health is mold doesn't grow in sunlight. So the more we can talk about things and we can acknowledge the fact that we're feeling them, if we can name it, we can talk about it and we can conquer it. So please remember that it's okay to talk about your feelings at a time of great change. So one of the ways that we're going to take a look at our mental health and our self-care practices is through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when we talk about Maslow, it's important to remember that there are different stages of Maslow's hierarchy. It starts at the bottom with our physiological needs, which is basically just taking care of your body and making sure that everything is going well there. The next level is safety, and then belonging and esteem, then self-actualization and transcendence at the top. We've all, as teachers and people in the education field, have heard Maslow's before Bloom's. So this is definitely a time for us to take care of our Maslow needs. One of the things that you can do right away today to start thinking about your physiological needs is monitoring the amount of water that you drink, right? It's not something that we normally think about, but right now we have time to really engage in some self-care practices. And one of the first things you can do for your physiological needs is to really take a look at your water intake. As we know in education, what's inspected gets respected. So I might recommend to you today to track your water. See if you can actually get it in 64 ounces, which is only 8 cups. Think about the container that you have your water in and see if you can't make sure that you're making a note of all the times that you fill it up and the time frame in which you drink it. Here's the other great thing about worrying about water intake right now. You're not at school. You can go to the bathroom whenever you want and whenever you need to. What a winner, right? So one of the first things you can do, again, to take care of those physiological needs is track your water intake. The second thing that you can do right out of the chute, easy peasy, is to track and think about how you sleep. As we all know, sleep is one of the most important things to help our cognitive abilities. They have done lots of studies where they show that a level of sleep deprivation is the equivalent to being under the influence of alcohol. So it's super important that we're making sure that we give time to our bodies to relax and rejuvenate so that we're able to continue to be the best part of ourselves for our capacity, as well as being able to take care of the people around us. So here are some ideas to think about when you want to engage in some better sleep. Okay. So work to keep your bedroom quiet and cool. They say that sleeping at a temperature around 65 degrees is the best temperature for sleeping. Now that might feel a little cold to some of you. So just thinking about being able to drop the level a little bit, drop the temperature a little bit in your room is going to do a lot for your sleep. Just making that small change should make a difference. Experiment with having a light snack, nothing heavy, but something just to have a little something in your stomach to help kind of subside any of those hunger pains that you might be having during the evening. And I know that this is a tough one for us, but limit your caffeine intake, specifically in the evening hours. Having a coffee in the morning to get us going and get our energy bolstered is phenomenal. I know a lot of my friends can't handle a day without having their first cup of coffee. But making sure that you wean that off after even noon will be so advantageous to your sleep. Avoid bright screens, right? So don't bring your phone to bed with you, and consider making sure that you have a technology-free area in your bedroom. Um, if you do have a TV, I wouldn't recommend watching it before bed because the light and illumination from the television as well as from your phone make your eyes and connect to your brain so that it is in an awake state as opposed to a calming down and getting ready for sleep. So instead of technology or a screen, think about something reading, maybe some reading. So a book that will help you calm down and focus, maybe doing a level of meditation or mindfulness activities, taking a warm bath, or listening to some quiet music before bed. It'll also be helpful to you if you start dimming the lights in your house or getting into a little darker space a few hours before you start thinking about going to bed. And one of the things that I find really interesting is our sleep patterns are just that. They're patterns. So when we get used to a period of sleep, a regulated bedtime and a regulated wake up time, our body functions so much better. So even though as teachers, we know we like to wake up later in the weekends if we possibly can, it's really super important to try to keep that sleep schedule constant every single day of the week. Right? That doesn't mean that you can't, on a special occasion, you can't stay up later or sleep in a little bit. Even taking naps is sometimes advantageous, but keeping that constant sleep time from a go to bed time to a wake up in the morning time, keeping that sacred is going to do a lot more for your sleep schedule and your sleep patterns. So thinking about those two starts to our physiological needs is going to be really important. Those are like your two baselines. If you can make sure that you're drinking your water and you can make sure that you're getting enough sleep, that's going to do a lot for your physical health as well as your mental health. So I hope that you enjoy these tips. The resources from what I used are going to be in the comments. And please consider thinking about doing something for yourself today. And don't forget to take care of yourself so that you can take care of the people around you. Have a good day.